Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out. This is episode 322. If you're keeping track. Hey, we're gearing up for the gift-giving season, of course, and so much of today's show will be about scoring deals on tech. A theme will continue on to next week's show as well for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and leading into the holidays, of course. But our first guests on Tech It Out will talk with us about the work they're doing with seniors in nursing homes that's tied to virtual reality. It's quite fascinating. And so we're going to catch up with AT&T and Mynd Immersive in a moment. After that, LG stops by to talk about its first wireless OLED TV and what that means exactly. Then we'll learn about the new Moto razr smartphones, a pair of them, and how they can also help you take a digital detox. Carley Knobloch will stop by with some deals for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and much more on this very packed Tech It Out show for you with 5 different segments. So let's officially kick off the show with our first interview. If you think virtual reality is only about video games and only for the young, think again. We're now going to hear about a fascinating study tied to older adults and applications for VR in nursing homes and assisted living facilities, as we're joined by 2 guests on the line. We've got Chris Brickler, CEO of a company called Mynd Immersive, and that's MYND, as well as Joe Drygas, head of AT&T Healthcare. Thank you for your time, Chris and Joe. I'm really looking forward to this chat.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Now, Chris, why don't we start with you? Before we talk about this virtual reality study, please tell us a bit about Mynd Immersive.
Great, Mark. Well, we started this company about 7 years ago with a vision that virtual reality could be used outside of teenage game land and much more intentional into the fabric of healthcare, specifically for our aging population. So we couldn't be more thrilled over the last 6-7 years to develop this technology to where we're now, really in a position of receiving amazing clinical product efficacy sort of data from the likes of Stanford and our work with AT&T. But, it's just a very exciting time because immersive technology, along with 5G networking, is coming together at a time where the aging population is exploding and the caregiver population is declining. So we're going to have some really intelligent conversations in this country over the next 10 years around digital health. And we think Mynd Immersive and AT&T is doing quite a bit of work in that area.
And Joe, with that in mind, how is AT&T involved exactly with Mynd Immersive, and what was the goal of this study? What did you set out to find?
So at AT&T, we're always looking for areas of opportunity where technology can help impact healthcare in a positive way. We're working with Mynd VR to connect the headsets using 5G technology. And we set out because we really were interested to see, would older adults have a positive attitude using this kind of technology, or would they resist it? And that was the goal of the study.
All right. So, Chris, tell us more about this study, how and when it took place, and what were some of your key findings?
Great question, Mark. So we started this study with AT&T and Stanford in 2021, led by Dr. Jeremy Bailenson. Now, this is a guy who is probably one of the top researchers in the world as it relates to virtual reality and how it's impacting the human condition. When he came to us and asked us if we'd like to do a study along these lines. Absolutely, we thought this was a great idea because we're always looking at ways that we can statistically validate, how the senior or that older adult, how their mood is changing, how they become less isolated using this technology. And when we got the results back, just on the isolation piece alone, it wasn't like 3, 5, 10% of these older adults over this 1.5-year study said, oh yeah, it helped. I feel less isolated. It's 58%. Almost 6 out of 10 seniors are saying that if virtual reality is done right, it can actually reduce feelings of isolation. That's really amazing. And then there's a whole nother avenue to the study that Jeremy and his team uncovered, which we're excited about as well. And that's really about the improvement of the caregiver and that older adult's relationship when using Mynd Immersive. And I could go into more data there, but to say it's a real big uplift to the relationship between those two.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you more about the caregiver element in a moment, Chris. Thanks for that. But just for those who are listening to this and they're trying to understand what the aging adults exactly saw when wearing a VR headset, which of course is like these, sort of like high-tech goggles that you put over your face, and it's tied to head tracking, so it's very immersive. So when you look left or right in real life, whatever you're consuming, whatever content you're consuming in virtual reality is also you're looking left and right. But what is it exactly that they're seeing? And then, Joe, I'm going to ask you about the 5G element in a moment. But Chris, can you give us an example of the content?
Yeah, absolutely. Content is sort of where we put a lot of our focus, and we study how different types of content work with different conditions as the aging process takes over. When you think about older adults that are becoming less mobile, travel content is really, really cool. When you can immerse somebody into an underwater diving experience in Indonesia, or just go to Paris and look at the Eiffel Tower, which you might have been there twice in your life. It's an amazing way to bring people present back to a time or a place that they felt something special to. And when they see that content, and they dive into our very large catalog of content that's, has a lot of different categories and a lot of different avenues for people to get immersed in, then that's when they have those connections, we lift them out of their four walls into this area that we call the fifth quadrant, which is essentially connecting their consciousness. Although their physical bodies can't quite go to Paris, we can connect their consciousness to past memories, and it just provides a tremendous amount of joy and unlocking of old memories.
Love that. I figured virtual vacations, that would be one part of the experiences that they had. And it could be very powerful because it does really make you feel like you are being whisked away to another place and time. It's fascinating if anybody listening has not yet tried really good virtual reality content. We are chatting with Chris Brickler. He's CEO of Mynd Immersive. Also on the line, Joe Drygas, head of AT&T Healthcare. Together with Stanford, they've wrapped up a study tied to virtual reality used by older adults in places like long-term care facilities. So your goal, I guess, and then Joe, maybe you can elaborate a bit on the findings. You found that almost 6 out of 10 said that this was a positive experience, a very powerful one. Did these findings surprise you?
No, not at all. We've been seeing this over and over for the last 6-7 years since we started this company. But to have an organization like Stanford, research this movement over the last year and a half, we feel honored to be part of this, but we also are not surprised by this data. I mean, 80% of seniors reported feeling more positive after using Mynd. And then when you get to the caregiver level, which is a real problem in our healthcare system today, we have a huge exploding population of older adults, a decreasing population of caregivers. If there are tools that can improve this caregiver older adult relationship, you have to remember that a lot of these caregivers are 2 generations or 3 generations younger than these older folks. So
sure.
Not a lot in common. What can VR do is provide unbelievable sets of conversation, because we provide a mirroring experience on a tablet that allows that caregiver to be present with that older adult in that experience and be able to guide them through it and say, you know what, let's go down Mynd's Road to Remember series, which is a 10-part series that we produced on, Wacker Drive to Santa Monica Pier. Every iconic place along Route 66 is on the Mynd Immersive network. Well, when we take seniors down that road, you can imagine the conversation that is inspired, that the caregivers are on the receiving end. So they learn about their older adults that they're taking care of in probably ways that they would have never imagined.
Yeah, that's awesome. And again, it's tied to head tracking. So if you're standing on Santa Monica Pier, virtually speaking, and you look up, like sitting in the chair that you're in real life, you're going to look up at the Ferris wheel, for example, that's on the pier. So really powerful technology. And Joe, is this where the 5G comes in, that the connection between the virtual reality headset and the tablet that's held by the caregiver is connected through that cellular network?
Yeah, absolutely, Mark. And I just have to say, Chris said he wasn't surprised, and he's been telling us for many years that the adoption would be incredible. But I got to tell you, I was surprised. You just wouldn't think that elderly people would adopt this kind of technology, but they have, and I think it's so exciting. And the reason for it is because of just how well it works. And you said it, Mark. I mean, you're basically immersing yourself in a place that you can't travel to anymore, but maybe you went there before, maybe it's been on your bucket list. And the technology is so seamless. The headset is light and comfortable, and it's paired with 5G. And 5G is so important because in order for technology like this to work well, you need a ultra fast, reliable, low latency network. And maybe you've experienced a time when you've used this kind of technology and you were dizzy or blurry, or it just didn't feel quite right. You make you motion sick. And that's because there's latency. That's because the technology is not tuned to the optimal way. But pairing Mind VR's game-changing technology with 5G that we provide, and putting those two things together really is what creates this amazing adoption and amazing experience. You can Google Mind VR and AT&T and you'll be able to see more.
All right, and Mind again is MYND, and AT&T Healthcare. Chris and Joe, great chatting with you. Thank you so much for carving out some time. Very profound work that you're doing. Please keep it up.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, thanks, Mark.
We'll be right back with more Tech It Out. Stay with us.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. I remember at my previous home where the TV service came into our house, we were limited as to where we could put our TV. We tried to extend the cable, but just didn't work well. It wasn't in an ideal location, in other words. Another issue is that if you have a bunch of cables in and around your TV, all the components connected to it, it could look cluttered. So LG has a new solution called the OLED Evo M3 series TV, as we'll now hear from Gilles Pereira, Senior Go-To Market Manager at LG Electronics. Good to chat with you again, Gilles. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me back, Mark. Great to be here as always.
I understand we do have some exciting innovations to discuss today tied to LG home entertainment. Without further ado, let's get right to it.
Yeah, for sure. And as we've discussed on this show many times, LG Home Entertainment is committed to that innovation story for a better life for customers. So the customer is kind of the spirit of that innovation. And that's very true of the M3 TV as well. We really wanted to understand user behavior and kind of innovate to make that experience better. And we've been doing that with OLED specifically for this is our 10-year anniversary. So we've been doing that each year, kind of going back and understanding how our customers using our products and then trying to look and see how we can make that even better for subsequent models. And we've certainly done that with the M3.
So your 10th anniversary with OLED TV, referring to the backlighting technology, an absolute gorgeous panel. But you've innovated over the years with several different designs, like Stand By Me, we had you on last time to chat about and all that. But M3. So let's talk about that specifically today, Gilles. What makes this latest installment in your TV line so special?
Yeah, so obviously the fact that it's an OLED, being that it has self-lit pixels, it makes it stand out from the rest of non-OLED TV tech, especially LG OLED. But this specific TV has the ability to wirelessly display your content with this zero connect box. So all you would need really for the panel, the TV panel, is power. And then you have this zero connect box that you can literally put anywhere in your living space within 10 meters. So there's quite a good range there. It actually supports up to the highest refresh rates and up to 4K resolution with that zero connect box. So there's so much more flexibility and versatility with the setup that you can have in your living space because of that tech.
So to me, that's the very unique story here. And I did touch on this in my introduction. Two issues. One is that when the cable box comes into your home, you may have to put your TV close to it. There are ways to extend the cable, but often the quality is degraded. Or it's just ugly when you've got all these components like a video game system or a TV box, or if you still have like a Blu-ray player, all connected to the TV, it can look cluttered. So this solves the two issues.
Yeah. So first of all, you can really start to open your mind where you can put that TV. I think conventionally, you almost only have one spot that the contractor left you. Yeah. Where now with this technology, you could really be a lot more versatile in where you position it. And then you can stitch that into your lifestyle concept or the environment that you have in your living space. And I think we've seen houses kind of evolve as well with how they're designed. So you have a lot more like open concept. less physical walls blocking rooms. And this really, I think, helps kind of blend into that evolving interior design concept. And to your point about the cables, so anything, Blu-ray player, gaming consoles, cable box, all of that, where you would physically have to be kind of looking at it under the TV and come up with some kind of connectivity solution that looks clean and neat and tidy, you have all of that pulled away now. So you can maybe have a custom shelving system beside the couch or some kind of cabinet system that you can pull away and have it almost semi-hidden so that the TV is just the TV and that's it.
Yeah, love it. I love that minimalist look. And these are huge TVs. Before we continue, Gilles, we should tell our listeners that these are either 77 inches or 83 inches.
Yeah, for sure. And we have seen a big increase in that size category specifically. That seems to be the fastest growing size category. And again, to the point I made earlier, LG does its homework and we understand user trends and behaviors. And we really want to make sure that we're addressing that with our customers. So we want to make sure we have the right sizes for any use case, even for these a bit more like premium products like the M3.
Right. And before we continue on and chat about audio, Gilles, to be clear, so you said when you buy this TV, you also get what's called a Zero Connect box, and that you can plug into your wall, like your power. Same with what you would do with this TV. Just to be clear, it is a wireless TV, but you do need that one cable for power. But then up to 10 meters away, or about 33 feet, you can plug in that Zero Connect box somewhere else in the room, or even an adjacent room. And then you can wirelessly stream up to 4K resolution and up to 120 hertz refresh rate. So there's no like degradation in video quality.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to be clear. So that you do need line of sight with the box. And with that 10 meters, that's to get the full 4K 120 spec. So let's, very limited content that requires that spec right now. But we've actually seen some stress tests where it's even beyond that distance and you're still maintaining a solid quality signal on screen. So there is a bit more flexibility there. But to get the true 4K 120 experience, we do recommend that 10 meter restriction distance. Sure. But I mean, most rooms wouldn't even come close to 10 meters.
I was going to say hardly a restriction, but yeah, I get it.
Exactly.
Thanks for clarifying. We are chatting with Gilles Pereira. He is a regular on this program. He's LG's senior go-to market manager. We often have him coming on to chat about television technology. And as the weather is cooling in this country, many of us are looking perhaps to upgrade our TV experience. All right. So Gilles, for our listeners who want to learn more about the LG OLED Evo M3 series and get pricing and see what stores carry it and all that, what's the best website?
To find out more, you can go to LG's website at lg.com.
All right, LG.com. Gilles Pereira has been our guest from LG Electronics, talking with us about the new M3 series TV. Thank you so much, Gilles. Always great chatting with you. Looking forward to having you back on the show again sooner than later.
Thanks so much, Mark. Great to be here as always.
Speaking of OLED screens, we're going to learn about the new Motorola razr phones and a feature called Moto Unplugged to help give you a bit of a digital detox when we return on Tech It Out. We also have on the show Carley Knobloch and other guests, so stick with us. We'll be right back.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. It's no secret, many of us are addicted to our screens, and so a digital detox might just be what the doctor ordered. But that doesn't mean you need to live without tech, as there are some devices that can still give you the ability to stay connected, so you can get calls and texts, see what's happening on social media, yet still remain present in real life with those who matter around you. One such device is the new Moto razr flip phone and some smart software called Moto Unplugged. We're going to hear about both of them now with lifestyle and tech expert Haley Bright. Hi, Haley. Good to chat with you.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So, Haley, why don't we dive right in? Tell us a bit more about a digital detox. I think it's somewhat self-explanatory, but I would love to hear your take on it and the benefits, of course, to doing so.
Yeah, so digital detox is basically taking a break from our favorite tech devices, whether it's a computer, a laptop, a cell phone. And you want to do that for an extended amount of time, from 30 minutes to a couple of hours. And basically what that does is that helps us break the cycle of addiction that we all have to our technology so that we're able to be more present in the real world. And this is crazy. So studies have shown actually that people check their phones over 100 times per day. So you can imagine that the benefits of digital detoxing are far reaching. People are shown to get better sleep, reduced anxiety and stress. They have more focus at work, and they're spending more quality time with their friends and family. It's absolutely amazing.
This is great. The idea of a digital detox. And I understand that there are some technologies that I kind of alluded to off the top that can help us achieve a digital detox.
Yeah. So actually, one of the technologies that's built into most smartphones is called screen time. And basically what that does is that helps you check how much time you're spending on your phone. And more importantly, how much time you're spending on certain apps. So for example, I recently checked mine. It said that I was spending 10 hours a day on my phone. And then I spent 4 to 5 hours. Yeah. Oh, then it gets worse. Then I spent 4 to 5 hours a day on TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah. My wife said that if you watch TikTok too long, a little thing comes on, a little cartoon or something, right? Like that tells you you've been on too long.
But yeah, that screen time, it's kind of like information. It's telling us, hey, you're spending this amount of time, but it's not really stopping you from doing it. So something that I love that just came out on the market, it's called Moto Unplugged from Motorola. And it's available on the razr and the razr Plus, just came out. And it's basically helping us minimize distractions and interruptions so that we're more present in the real world. And I'll just kind of tell you a little bit about how that works. Do. So it's easy to use, right? We all need something that's easy. You go into the Moto Unplugged feature, you select how much time you want to do it. Let's say you want to do it for 30 minutes or you just want an unlimited session. And then you check which essential apps and contacts you want to be able to use during that time. So let's say it's during like a work day. I might go, hey, I want to access my email. I want to access Microsoft Teams, and that's it. So then the only things I can actually see on my phone while I'm unplugged are Microsoft Teams and email. I literally can't see anything else. And you have to enter a password to end your session. So you have to really think now, do I want to end my session and scroll social media or interact with my phone, or do I want to stay unplugged? It's absolutely fantastic.
We are chatting with life and tech expert Haley Bright about taking a digital detox, a little break from your laptop, your tablet, your smartphone. And speaking of smartphones, yes, there are tools like Screen Time that will tell you how long you're using the device as well as specific apps. But there's a new phone, the Motorola Razr, as well as the Razr Plus, that's also meant to help you not just with its Moto Unplugged software, but also the external display of the Razr. It's ideal for quick little notifications, but not much else. Is that fair?
Yeah, and actually you can do quite a bit from it, but you're right. It's not pulling you into your phone like you normally would be. So the external display on the Razr is 1.5 inches. So it's pretty small, right? So it's like you're still connected, yet you're unconnected at the same time. From that one, you can check your notifications, your calendar, your weather, anything like that, but you're still not opening your phone to get totally sucked back in. But if you need something a little bit bigger, Motorola has the Motorola Razr Plus, and on that one, you can check your emails and text messages from the external screen. So that's fantastic if you need to do a little bit more from the external screen without actually going back into your phone.
Yeah, I like that Razr Plus, by the way. It has a larger 3.6-inch external display, and that lets you do virtually everything, including accessing apps. But if you want to open it up to the full 6.9-inch phone, then yeah, it flips open like the classic Razr back in the day. Before we wrap up, Haley, what's FlexView on the Razr phones?
Oh, FlexView is very cool. So basically it's like having a built-in tripod in your phone. So you can just turn your phone to the exact angle you want it. You can use that for video chatting. You can use it also to get the perfect picture. So I used it recently because my family celebrated kind of an early Thanksgiving, and we were trying to get a family photo. And this year I was able to actually set up my Razr and put it at the perfect angle and get that family photo. Whereas I got to tell you, last year, I took my smartphone and put it against a chair and it fell over. So it took a couple times to get that family photo. But this year it was no problem. And there's one more feature in there called Photo Booth that's cool for the holidays. Do you remember like going to like an old school photo booth when you were a kid at like the mall?
Oh, of course. And you get like the 3 or 4 different pictures in the one strip. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So now you can do that in your phone on the Razr. So you just go into the photo booth session, you wave your hand, and then you can take 4 pictures, and it like actually like tells you when it's going off. So you can, do funny faces just like the photo booth when you were a kid. And then it has a digital photo booth picture. It's so cool.
Love that. All right. And then for everything that we've chatted about today, Haley, Moto Unplugged, digital detoxing, and the pair of new Razr devices, what's the best website to get going?
Yeah. So if you want to find out about Moto Unplugged and the Razr, you can go to Motorola.com to find out more.
All right, Motorola.com. And then for our listeners who are on Insta, what's your handle? In case your Moto Unplugged is allowing you to access Instagram. What's your handle, Haley?
My handle's at Haley Bright.
All right, and that's Hailey Bright. Thank you so much for your time, Haley. Great to chat with you. All the best.
Thanks for having me. Have a great day.
Cheers. Hey, next week on Tech It Out, just a heads up, we're going to have Visa on to talk about threats facing holiday shoppers. There are a lot of them these days, unfortunately. We're going to hear about a new report published by Visa about what those risks are, these fraudsters who are trying to deceive you in every way possible. So we'll talk about fighting back. Visa's brand promise, of course, is to protect the financial information of individuals and businesses. Zero liability means peace of mind when you shop online or at retail using your Visa card. There could be no half measures when it comes to cybersecurity. You can read more about Visa and how securing the world's payments is priority one at visa.com/security. There's a lot of really great stuff here, including videos, blog posts, polls, surveys, and so on. Visa.com/security. Thank you to the company for their ongoing support on Tech It Out. We chat with tech lifestyle expert Carley Knobloch when we return on the program. She'll have some gadget gift ideas for kids and kids at heart. So stick with us. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Tech It Out. It's time to knock out your holiday shopping. And if you're looking for cool tech gift ideas, we have tech lifestyle expert Carley Knobloch here with us with some of her gadget guidance. Hey, Carley, good to chat with you again. Happy holidays.
Hi, always happy to provide gadget guidance. Thanks for having me back, Mark. I've partnered with some great brands to really help you give the gift of tech this season, which is a surefire way to be the coolest gift giver.
Yeah, and I love the alliteration, by the way, gadget guidance. Let's just jump in. Why don't we start off with something for the kids so you can be the cool mom or dad this holiday season?
Totally. I love this because it's high tech, but it's also screen free. And we're always trying to keep kids off screens, especially at young ages. So this one's very cool and very interactive and fun. It's called the Tony Box. It's an audio player that plays stories and songs. And you just pop a little Tony figurine on top of the Tony Box and it unlocks all kinds of cool content. There's so many different characters to choose from, including the brand new first ever Marvel Tonys like Spidey, Spin, and Ghost Spider. If your kids are into Marvel, they know who all those people are. Each Tony is sold separately, and it comes with multiple songs and one unique crime-fighting story per character. So cute. And again, screen-free, which is really nice because it lets the kids be creative or maybe wind down before bed with a story or a song and no screens.
Yeah, I love that. So I'm familiar with the Tonys and the Tony Box and all the different characters and all that, but I haven't seen yet the Marvel ones. I know a few toddlers are going to love that. Mm-hmm. Before we move on to other gift ideas, I should remind our listeners, we're not going to give out pricing on the air because it can fluctuate, especially this time of year. So head on over to inthenews.tv, where you'll not only see Carley Knobloch in action showing these cool gadget and game gift ideas, but also you'll get links to purchase them and see all the current pricing and all that. We are going to talk about a few more things, including a Lenovo handheld gaming PC in a moment. But any tips for keeping our information more secure this holiday season? I know that's top of mind for many.
Absolutely. During the holidays, we're shopping a ton online and really all year, right? And we need to stay safe. So Kaspersky is such incredible peace of mind because they protect your whole digital life. Your personal data stays safe when you're browsing or gaming thanks to their malware protection and their super fast VPN. And if you're unwrapping new gadgets this season, you might want to add their password manager or for the kids, parental controls. It works with Macs, PCs, and mobile devices, and you can use coupon code HOLIDAY for 15% off. And it really does offer peace of mind. I've installed it now on not only my kids' devices, but I've gotten my parents signed up as well so that they don't accidentally walk into some sort of scam.
Yeah, for sure. And I like that the VPN or virtual private network software is included. Often somebody will buy cybersecurity protection like antivirus, anti-malware, what have you, but you have to buy a VPN separately. I like that it's included. That way you can browse the web anonymously, which makes you less prone to any kind of fraudulent attack. Let's now turn back to gift ideas. I know you've got a couple more to share with us.
I do, yeah. First off, I really love giving experiences as gifts, and using Rosetta Stone is such a great idea, and it's a great gift for virtually anyone on your list. They have been the language learning experts for 30 years. I actually used it to learn a bit of Italian before my trip to Florence last summer, and it came in very handy. Right now, you can get a lifetime subscription for only $149 by going to rosettastone.com/holiday sale. That's the best price that they offer all year, and it gives you access to 25 different languages forever.
That's a really good value proposition. And of course, everyone knows Rosetta Stone, and I love that they've adapted to the times as well. Tell me about the One More Sonoflow.
Yeah, I've got a lot of audiophiles in my family, a lot of music people, and they would all love this. It's the One More Sonoflow. They're amazing, wireless, active noise canceling headphones at a great price. Your music and your podcasts are going to sound awesome thanks to high-res audio and lossless LDAC audio coding. And with up to 70 hours of battery life, you're never going to be interrupted. But if you do happen to run low, just 5 minutes of charge time gives you 5 hours of listening. And you can get them right now for 36% off at One More and Amazon this Black Friday weekend.
And these are over-the-ear headphones or in-ear, like earbuds?
I've got both sitting right here. The over-ear is the ones that I just described, but they have a lot of different options depending on what your needs are. And they're all tuned to really bring you, a premium audio experience at a great price.
All right. Speaking of premium, let's end off on the Lenovo Legion Go for gamers.
Yes, it is Lenovo's first handheld gaming device. It's going to go with you anywhere, so it's aptly named Legion Go. It's got a huge 8.8-inch display, brilliant visuals that bring your games to life, and detachable True Strike controllers. Plus, it's got a long-lasting battery, definitely a trend with gifts this season. How big is the battery and how quickly does it charge? So this one's got a long-lasting battery for gaming sessions on the move, and with super rapid charge, it takes just 30 minutes to charge it up to 70%. We don't want to be without our headphones and our gaming devices for too long, so they take little time to charge, which is great.
That's perfect for those who are going to be traveling over the holidays and into next year, because it is a full Windows 11 powered PC in the palm of your hand, and it's got the built-in gaming controls right there. And you can connect it to a monitor or a TV if you like. But love that. The Lenovo Legion Go. And then Carley, we've been chatting with tech lifestyle expert Carley Knobloch over the past few minutes. Where can we go for more info and seeing you demonstrate these products?
Yes, come visit me at inthenews.tv, and I'll have up-to-the-minute pricing, demos, links, everything you could possibly want about all the great ideas that I've shared here today.
Thank you so much, Carley. Great to chat with you. Happy holidays to you, and I hope to see you sooner than later.
Always fun to chat with you, Mark. Thanks again.
I'll also share some Black Friday and Cyber Monday tech deals when we return on Tech It Out.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
Hey, I thought I'd spend about 5 minutes chatting about some gadget gift ideas that you can get a deal on over Black Friday, which is Friday, November the 24th, or Cyber Monday, the 27th. And some of these are already on sale leading up to that big weekend, as many companies don't want to lose out. Beginning with a sale on smart lights, such as the Philips Hue 3-pack 75-watt equivalent color bulbs. They're up to 30% off for the starter kit, and that's when you buy 2 or more selected Hue products from the company, and that includes the bridge. So you can use your voice with a smart speaker or an app to control all the lights. You can change colors to set the mood. You can schedule when the lights come on and off in the home, set timers and all that. And they also have, of course, those Hue Play gradient light strips that you can place behind your TV, synchronize it with content and with games, splashing different colors on the wall that corresponds with what you're seeing on screen. It's really cool. So there's a few different Philips Hue smart lights that you can pick up. Again, that starter kit is up to 30% off, which is awesome. Next up, if you've been holding out buying a Nintendo Switch for the family, there's a Black Friday bundle that I'll tell you about. It's the Nintendo Switch OLED model system plus a full digital download of the super fun game Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and you get a 3-month Nintendo Switch Online individual membership. This is all for $329, which is a huge value for the bundle. That Nintendo Switch Online membership, by the way, lets you play online games with others. You can play more than 100 classic Nintendo games, Game Boy, NES, SNES, love that. And you can score deals on new Nintendo Switch games as well. So that's a really good membership to have. Plus, again, if you want to play online against others, you'll want that. So that's the Nintendo Switch OLED model system with a much better screen than the original Nintendo Switch. And you get a free copy of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as a digital download. That's great. And that's all after the 19th of November. Then, if you want to buy a stellar laptop that's on sale, it's $200 off. It's the Asus ZenBook S13 OLED. So this is a laptop with that same screen as the Nintendo Switch, a gorgeous OLED-based screen for better contrast and color. This laptop is on sale now before Black Friday, normally $15.99, but I've seen it for under $13.99, so a minimum of $200 off. Super thin and light, and it's got this Asus Lumina OLED screen that I mentioned. Plus, it's Intel Evo certified for fast performance with a Core i7 processor, instant wake times, long battery life of up to 14 hours between charges, and many other features. Asus.com has more on the Asus ZenBook S13 OLED. But if it's a TV you want, an OLED TV, do you sense a theme here? OLED is definitely the panel technology that everyone's buzzing about. For OLED, it's LG's 10th anniversary of award-winning OLED TVs. These are super thin TVs with gorgeous panels. You can expect to get a few $100s off televisions over Black Friday and Cyber Monday. My pick is the LG OLED Evo C3, up to 83 inches with blazing fast 0.1 millisecond response time. So gamers will love that. The bracket that you get with the TV holds an optional soundbar called the LG SC9S. It is a soundbar that matches the TV. So even when it's mounted to the wall, the bracket will hold the soundbar in place under the TV. It's really slick looking. You can check it out online, but it's a perfect combo. So that's the LG OLED Evo C3 series TV for a few $100s off, and an LG SC9S soundbar, which works with any TV, by the way. It doesn't have to be this C3 model, but it does match perfectly. As for something to watch on that TV, there are new and completely free streaming video services available, like Tubi. They're a leading fully free ad-supported streaming service with a deep library of more than 200,000 TV show episodes and movies, including more than 140 Tubi originals. The app or website can be accessed on multiple devices. It's great for phones and tablets, laptops and desktops, smart TVs, and more. And Tubi, by the way, includes both video on demand with content that starts when you want. You can pause it and skip forward and back and binge a show, all that kind of stuff. And nearly 250 FAST channels. FAST is an acronym for free ad-supported streaming television, which is more linear, traditional channels. But lots of selection. You just have to sit through some ads before and during your content. But hey, free is free, and TubiTV.com has a ton of content. And finally, the Motorola Razr Plus smartphone, as we heard about a couple of minutes ago on Tech It Out, but we didn't share pricing. So let me tell you how it's on sale. Normally about $1,000, but on sale for $699, which is a huge discount. So this, when it's folded, has a 3.6-inch screen in which to see your content, but when you flip it open, it's a 6.9-inch Android device with an incredibly fast display, so perfect for action movies and gaming on this thing. So again, it's down to $699 from $1,000 for the Motorola Razr Plus. So as you can see, no shortage of Black Friday and Cyber Monday deals, so happy shopping. Thank you for tuning in to Tech It Out, this very packed show this week, and I look forward to catching up with you next weekend for another episode of Tech It Out. Bye-bye for now. Ciao.